Hello everybody, it's very good to be part of your harvest celebrations this year. And I thought I'd tell a story a bit similar to one that Jesus told to focus our thinking about harvest. And then we'd go down to the warehouse at One Can Trust, where a lot of your donations are going this year. So Jesus told a story that went a bit like this. Once there was a dad who had a little boy and a little girl called Luke and Lucy. The dad realised it was time for Harvest Festival and looked in his cupboards to see what he could give. Here you are, he said to Luke, will you take this jar of cooking sauce in for Harvest Festival? Because he knew that food banks always needed cooking sauces. Of course I will, Dad, said Luke, and he put it down on one side as he went to get ready. When he went upstairs, he was a little bit distracted and came downstairs and looked at the cooking sauce and thought, oh, I haven't really got room to put that in my bag. And besides, why should I share with other people? Surely they should be making their own decisions on how to provide food for their families. And besides which, it's such a delicious jar of cooking sauce, I don't think I want to share it with anybody else. So he left the cooking sauce on the side and went to school and had nothing for Harvest Festival. The dad also turned to Lucy and said, why don't you take a jar of cooking sauce as well? Because I know how much they need cooking sauces at the food banks. I won't, said Lucy. I think that's a silly idea. I like to keep all the sauces to ourselves. Why should we have to share with others? Other people should provide for themselves. I don't see why I should take it. It will be too heavy in my bag. And Lucy stormed off to clean her teeth and get ready for school. As she came downstairs, she saw again the jar of cooking sauce. And she picked it up and thought, well, it's not really that heavy, and I suppose I could put it in my bag. And I can see that not everybody can make provision for all their families, so perhaps we ought to share with others. And do you know what? Maybe I'll even feel better if I help and share my food with other people. So she put the cooking sauce in her rucksack and went to school and handed it in for the Harvest Festival. When Jesus told this story, he said to the people listening, which one of those two children did what their dad asked? And of course the answer was easy. It was Lucy. Even though she said she wasn't going to help, in the end she did. And what was important were not the words that she said, but the deeds, that it followed through in action. And that's why we have harvest festivals, to say not just that we care about other people in the world, but that we will do something about it and share our food with those in need. And this year, our harvest festivals are going to the food banks locally to help make provision for local people who have struggled over the last few months. And I've been down to the warehouse at One Can Trust to see what's happened to jars of cooking sauce like the one that Lucy brought in and where they go from there. I'm here now at the One Can warehouse with Joe Belshaw, who's going to tell us a little bit about what happens to your donations. Joe, tell us first of all what your role is with One Can.
Hello everyone. So my name's Joe, as you just heard, and my job is to make sure that we have enough food coming into the One Can operation to help all the families that we're looking after currently, of which there are about, oh gosh, there are over 400 people a week that we are feeding now. Half of those are children. So I'm going to walk you through the journey of a donation. So this is our warehouse here, and the donations come down to this point. Here is an amazing, we so want these jars of cooking sauce. Here is a jar of cooking sauce, and this is where it goes. So if you'd like to follow me, all our donations come into the warehouse, and we have a bank of food here which is just waiting to be sorted. So if you'd like to follow me round. Here we have one of our lovely volunteers who is sorting out hello, some of our donations that have come in. So all the food is sorted into different food types. So you can see here we've got some corned beef, beans, tomatoes, etc. And then it's dated to make sure that all the products are safe to be eaten by our clients and they're within date. If you'd like to follow me, we also have a lot of fresh produce coming in now. We've got some more of our amazing volunteers. If you want to wave for the cameras, ready? So we are now taking a lot more fruit and vegetables, fresh produce for our clients, which is so important, as we all know. And it all comes into this fresh area here and is sorted and placed into the fridges over there, ready to go out to our clients. If I can just pop myself across here and just show you, this is a typical food bag that would go out to one of our families. So perhaps a family with one child, a mum and a dad and a child. It's a smaller food bag that would go out. So as you can see, broccoli, carrots, onions and bananas go in there as well. So important to have a balanced diet. Let me carry on walking you round. If you'd like to follow me. The ladies here are just sorting out bread. So we have very kind supermarkets who donate their bread to us that have just come to the end of their shelf life in the supermarkets. And we receive those, freeze them, and then they're ready to go out in food parcels as well. So if you'd like to follow me, I'm going to take you through to our amazing picking room through here. This is all the toiletries area. As you can see, all the toothpaste and toilet rolls, and when the lights come on, this is our amazing picking room where we come around with our trolleys and we fill our bags with all the different food types. You can see we've got cereals, milks, jams, we've got tinned tomatoes there, everything you can possibly need. And our food nutritionist, he actually lived on one of the food parcels for a week to make sure that you can live on the food parcels for a week. So they're carefully put together, very balanced. I'm going to show you and talk to you in a minute about the things that we really do need from you. If you'd like to follow me this way. So this is through into the office and where all our food parcels are stored, waiting to be collected by, there's one of our amazing drivers there. All our drivers are volunteers who very kindly give up their time to help us. And currently we're delivering all the food parcels to our clients. Some do go directly to schools, but most of them are going directly to people's houses. So as you can see, there are all the food parcels there. So there are certain things that we are desperately short of, and I'm going to give you a little list of those, but just to summarise, things like cooking sauces, we always need biscuits, healthy cereals, things like porridge, Weetabix, tin pulses, tin vegetables, spreads, toilet rolls, always short of toilet rolls, toothpaste, deodorant, washing up liquids, clothes wash, lots of things like those we need. At the moment we've got quite a lot of UHT milk, beans, soup. I can't think what else, there are a few other things on this list, but I will get that to you. So thank you, but we don't need those at the moment, but we can focus on the fresh, the carrots, onions, broccoli and bananas, and those other produce that I've just talked to you about. That would be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your support. As I said, we are feeding just over 400 people a week, half of those are children. And the families, you know, it really varies why they come to us, but at the moment there could be illness, perhaps somebody's died in the family. A lot of people, very sadly, are going to be losing their jobs probably as a consequence of COVID. So, you know, there's a whole host of reasons why people come to us. People come through referrers, so people that, like churches or schools that know of families that perhaps need help. And we never say no to anybody that comes to us. So if you do know of anyone, please do get in touch and we'd be delighted to help. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Jo. It's been really helpful to hear the journey of the donations that come in, and I hope that all of us from our schools will be able to carry on supporting One Can and the wonderful work that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This year has been a particularly difficult year for the food banks because of the COVID crisis. You'll be able to see on this picture that in January, at the beginning of this year, One Can Trust was handing out food parcels to over 500 people. But look at the way that yellow line is going. so that by the time they got to May, there were over 2,000 people every month who were supported by the One Can Trust, needing food parcels because of the problems with coronavirus. That number came down a bit in August to just over 1,500. But of course, we're all worried at the moment that the numbers will go up again as the COVID crisis increases and lots of people lose their jobs. And you saw and you heard from what Joe was saying that that's one of the real reasons why people need to turn to food banks.
So thank you to all of you at Davenies for your generous donations to the One Can Trust. Harvest is a great time to think about all the good things that we have and also how we can share with others. And I know everyone at One Can Trust and all the families that they support are really grateful to you for what you have given. And I hope that you too can be thankful for all that you can share and know the thanks from those people in giving them to you and be able to thank God for his good provision to us all.